welcome today, and we've got a testimonial video that I'm really pleased to be talking to Gary Horgan of Martin&Co about View Agents, the reputation platform. Gary, thank you very much for joining us today.
No problem, Simon.
Great stuff. And just give us a bit of background, Gary. So you've got two offices under the Martin&Co franchise, is that right?
That's right.
Based?
One in Saltaire in district of Bradford and one in Keighley.
Okay, good stuff. And in terms of View Agents, which for people who don't know is a review site, is a reputation site. I mean, I'm guessing, I mean, some people might be a bit cynical and say, well, do we really need any kind of more review sites and anything else? So what was it that stood out for you that made you think that actually View Agents was a little bit more different than everything else that was out there?
I think the ease of customers being able to leave reviews, because what we found either with Google, with Trustpilot, or your standard kind of review sites, you need to set up an account. And what we found when we were asking landlords or tenants or buyers or sellers to leave us a review, and we'd send them a Google link or we'd send them a Trustpilot link, I would say more often than not, they'd say, yeah, no problem. And then they didn't subsequently leave a review. And when we followed that up with a conversation, they said, look, I haven't got an account. I haven't really got time to set up an account. Yeah. What View Agents offered was you don't need an account. You literally just click the link, and that will enable you to leave, your honest feedback on the, your service and the experience you've received. So whilst it's not visible to the general public, which is what Google and Trustpilot are, what it allows us to do is capture their feedback and then to be able to use that in material that we either use on social media ourselves, or as importantly, when we're sitting down with landlords or we're sitting down with sellers whilst we're doing appraisals, what we give them out is kind of handouts showing them, a load of recent testimonials we've had from other landlords or other sellers. That's a combination of not just of Google reviews, but also reviews and testimonials from customers that have been, speaking highly of the service that we provided to them. So that's really helped us from a credibility perspective, give real examples where we'll leave handouts that might have reviews. One that we were on last week, we gave them handouts where literally there's reviews there from November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, and it shows it's not just a kind of the occasional one here. This is, we're going to leave you with, in your own time, have a read of the reviews. We can sit here today and tell you how great we are, but actually I'd rather you read what landlords are saying about service or what sellers are saying. So read that in your own time. And the fact we're giving you multiple months of testimonials, it really helps us from a credibility perspective. And that's where View Agents have helped us get a lot more volume than what we were able to get just using the Google.
And that's that consistency point. So it's not like a flash in the pan that you might see with a few agents. They get a few positive reviews here and there, as you said, because you're getting that, because of the ease of use. And I think one of the key elements about View Agents is it does pull the reviews from different places.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
So essentially, you can be a hero on one website out there in the real world and then a villain on another. But what View Agents does is it collates them all together from the likes of Facebook and Google, doesn't it? And keeps it in one place.
It does. And it just, I mean, for my marketing assistant, she's able to go in there and pull out the good ones every month. But it also, what I also like about the View Agent site, it measures each of your staff members in terms of the volume of reviews that they've been getting. So that really helps us to be able to sit down and have some constructive one-to-ones with the guys and recognise those guys who are getting not only great reviews, but actually great numbers of reviews, but also it kind of highlights those individuals that not necessarily get negative, because we don't tend to get a lot of negative feedback, but those we're just getting very few reviews from, so it enables us to identify training needs there.
And so really, yes, some of those people that are actually doing the right stuff, but maybe not shout about it, you're going to hear those reviews coming very publicly, aren't they? And because again, it allows you to focus then on the company brand and the office brands, doesn't it? But the individuals just as important, isn't it, to understand which ones are doing the right stuff and which ones perhaps need a little bit more training and coaching.
Yeah, so we measure it every month. So I'll have certain members of the team will consistently get between 5 and 10 reviews in a month, whereas other members of the team get 0 or 1, and they all work the same amount of hours. They're all having the same number of conversations with their landlords or tenants or buyers or sellers. The difference is some have got more influence and skills than others, and that just it identifies training needs for us.
But that's the age old, isn't it? If you can't measure it, you can't manage it, really.
Correct.
So by being able to have that element of the individual in there, that's going to help. I can see that. I can see that's really useful. Yeah, and that's much more similar, I think, to like, you know, what the Australians and the Americans do well, which is focus on that individualistic nature of reviews more than we see done in this country today.
We don't use it as a kind of any kind of performance management tool or anything negative to kind of give people, you know, constructive or destructive feedback. It's just a training opportunity there. If someone's not able to get the reviews, you know, what is it that they're doing? What could they do differently? And just really positive. So what I like about the view agents as well, it allows us to get scores on individual team members, whereas Google tends to be more about the kind of brand overall. That's where it's different.
Because that it does, doesn't it, as well, and not just on the individual, but it measures it almost at different stages, doesn't it? So you can see where the pinch points are in the either on the lettings side of things or on the sales side of things, really allowing you to, because it is a property specific review site, it allows you to get more data back than you ordinarily would get before, wouldn't it?
100%, yeah. I mean, I'd say our reviews have probably quadrupled since we've been using view agents, and that's really good from a marketing perspective.
And I mean, okay, we all strive to be the best that we can do, but occasionally, especially the nature of tenants these days, liking to blame the agent for everything else. How does it cope when you've got a less than perfect review in there? Are they amenable to, are you able to respond to to be able to respond to the person, try and get them to kind of take it down? What process goes on in your mind when actually they're not leaving you the 5-star review that you desire?
Well, that's where, I mean, in fairness, when it gets to that point, we normally know about that anyway. So, if I've got to be honest, we don't tend to get anything other than 5-star reviews. So, and that's not to say
it's not an agent-friendly site then in that way, in terms of being able to nurture those.
Yeah, let's be honest. If we've had a tenant, we've had a big disagreement with them, they're not happy with something, we're not going to reach out to them. Oh, by the way, can you leave us a review on the service you received? You kind of have to be a bit savvy with who you're asking for reviews. And if we believe, which we do in 99% of the case, if we believe we've given someone a great experience, we'll ask them for a review because we want to put ourselves out there.
That makes perfect sense. And they've got a few different strings to their bow as well, haven't they, View Agent, in terms of just being, not just what people would think of being a review. I believe they also help you out on the sort of on the social media side of things by do they promote your adverts? They do,
yeah. They promote our adverts. They will often promote each of our branches within their site. So we've had some reaction from that. We've also done some work with them last month where they've got what they call a reputation magazine. So we've done some work. Well, I've got an interview with my sales valuer and also my lettings manager, where each of those have got a magazine now with. There's a lot of kind of industry kind of how to get your house ready for selling and stuff like that. But there's an article in each one of those magazines that details specifically about John, my lettings manager, or Adam, my sales manager. What is it about them, their background? What is it, how they operate? And it just adds a personal touch. So it's a digital magazine. We haven't got copies in the office, but it just helps us where we send it out to people who are looking to find out a bit more about them. It's something to consider. We send it out, and I wouldn't say that alone in itself is helping us win business, but it's just another part of what we do. You've seen our reviews, you've met the guys. Now is an opportunity. If you want to find out a bit more about us and our integrity, have a read. This and this can give you a bit more background. So it just adds more weight to our overall credibility as a brand.
And it's something different, isn't it? Let's be honest as well. Just go and to be able to hit it on multi-channel. And in fact, actually, as you said, it's not just I think they can do them as coffee table kind of literally print offs. But in this digital age, obviously, it makes sense to have it as a PDF or as in the way that they create it, so that people can turn the pages easily, and then it can go anywhere, can't it?
Definitely, yes. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what would you say the key strengths were if you were to just try and again summarize what you like about View Agents? What would you say that you feel that how they separate themselves from the rest?
I think it's the simplicity of a customer being able to leave a review. And that's if I could summarize it in one sentence, that would be it. And that is invaluable from a marketing perspective, but it's also invaluable from a, we want as much, in order for us to try and improve our processes and improve the way we manage the relationships with our customers. It's important to ask as many people as possible for feedback, because yeah, it's great to read the positive stuff, but I also like to read any negative feedback they get, because that allows us to kind of, reflect and understand more. We might think we give, a brilliant service to all of our customers, but actually if someone doesn't believe that and their perception is different, that's an opportunity for us to reflect and investigate what's caused them to, give some, negative feedback, and for us to learn from that.
Understand. Okay, that's really, really useful. And you mentioned the team before. Do the team just go along with it because obviously it's kind of, they've been encouraged to use it, or do they start to see the advantage of you agents themselves as well?
Definitely. So it's creating a bit of competitiveness within the team. They all like to receive good feedback, and there's when they see certain individuals getting recognised, week in, week out, it causes a bit of, I wouldn't use the word tension, but there's a bit of competition there, and a bit of kind of, I want to be the one that's getting recognised, because I make sure that every review that we receive, I send it out to the entire team. I'm recognising individuals and do little league tables and stuff like that. So it just creates that little bit of a bit of fun and a bit of kind of a little bit of competition within the team, and I don't think that's anything like that. And I think about the property managers, where a lot of their days dealing with issue after issue after issue. This is to be able to recognise the good things that we do and recognise how people are genuinely appreciative of the work we do for them. It just helps with the morale of the team as well.
I think that's really good, isn't it? Because actually you can look at the raw stats and everyone knows that's what they're there to do and everything else. But if you're able to be performing and hitting the numbers in terms of sales and everything else there, and you're also getting the clients saying on the whole that they really thought you guys did a good job, that's a nice thing to have backing it up, isn't it? And as you said, a nice bit of competitive angst there never helped anyone in any sales role, did it?
Do you know what, Simon? I've got to say, my 9 months have been here with the team. They actually get more of a buzz and more of a kick out of a customer giving them positive feedback than any commission scheme that we've put in place. They love it. It helps them feel appreciated by the customer. It helps them feel, I think we've done a really good job of kind of having this kind of customer-centric culture here, and always making, asking the team, put yourself in the landlord's shoes, put yourself in the tenant's shoes, put yourself in the buyer or seller's shoes. And if that's how they approach their job, then more often than not, they'll deliver really good customer experiences. And when they get that feedback back, it gives them such a buzz. They love it.
Because we were talking off camera just a minute before we started, weren't we? And you were explaining how you've come at it with a slightly different, and it sounds pretty obvious, doesn't it? But lots of people talk about the client coming first, but don't really seem to live and breathe it. But what's coming across clearly here is that's absolutely central to the way you're managing this business, and indeed your staff are living their lives as well on a daily basis.
Yeah, I think at this day and age, I think, and this is what I've tried to kind of drill into the guys, this is no longer, we've got to go out and give good service to our customers. That's an absolute bare minimum. This is much, we've gone beyond just giving good customer service. You have to give them a good customer experience, and there is a big difference between the two, and it's getting them to understand that if you want customers to write you a review or give you positive feedback, you have to go above just doing the basics, and that's the customer experience. It's understanding what are their needs and what do I need to do to make sure that I'm not only meeting those needs, but where possible, surpassing those needs. And where you do that, customers will give you, take the time to give you a positive review. What my own experience is, if you're just giving, general customer service, people aren't motivated to leave a review because, well, that's just what I expect. If you go above the minimum, they'll be more motivated to give you a review.
And of course, there can't be anything better that can be than word of mouth and existing clients saying the right thing, can there?
And that's where we're getting a hell of a lot of our business this year, from landlords and sellers. It's through word of mouth, through recommendations, through people seeing the social media posts that we've put out there where, another fantastic review from a landlord, and boosting those kind of, and making adverts out of those. People read them and people say,
are they well engaged with them? When you
yeah. We're a landlord. We had really good new landlord on Friday. We sat down. How did you find out about us? He says, I've been annually reviewing every single Google site for all the local agents. You guys stand up so far ahead of the competition, and that's how we've got our business. So I think
I mean, that really is gold, isn't it? In this age where we know that everyone's fighting so hard for instructions from every level of the business there, to be able to say that they are doing their homework, doing their R&D before they even pick up the phone to you. And that's that classic case, isn't it? People talk about reputation, and reputation is what people are saying about you when you're not in the room, isn't it?
Correct.
Whether you like it or not is the truth of the matter. So you can either put your head in the sand, can't you, ostrich style, or you can look at it. Sounds to me like you've worked your business from cradle to grave, essentially, there, of how to get the best out of this review reputation side of things.
Yeah, but you've got to be authentic, and you're not going to grow your online reputation unless you offer an authentic, great customer experience. And I think that's what we've been able to do well with the team, and they've all bought into that. And thankfully, touch wood, that's what feedback we're getting from our customers. Long may that continue.
And just a couple of final questions, Gary. In terms of the some bits of tech, some suppliers you look at take a long time to kind of get out of the box, get working here. But it sounds like, from what you were saying before, this is not one of those. This is a much simpler thing to start running with, is it?
I was amazed at how simple it was, and what such a when I first done my research and spoke to Dom about View Agents, the simplicity of it, and the uptake and the buy-in we got from the team, because it is just literally, I'll send the customer a link and they can go onto the site. It is so easy to do, it's effortless, and the rewards for using this in terms of the volume of reviews that you can get, I couldn't be more impressed by it.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for spending the time with me. And it goes to say, if you're saying as well, this, and as well as the other things you've been doing, how we get 4 times as many positive reviews, that's, any agent would be desperate for that, wouldn't they? So I guess I'll ask the standard question, slightly glib question. You'd recommend this to anyone other than your competition, I guess?
And I have done. Anybody I've spoken to within the group, I said, you've got to sign up for these guys. They are absolutely brilliant, and they will. If you believe in online reputation, then you will not find a better third-party supplier to work for than View Agents, because they help you massively with the volume.
So I suppose it remains for me to say, if you were to give them a score out of 5, what would you rate them?
5 out of 5.
Brilliant. Okay, Gary, absolutely fascinating listening to you here today. Congratulations on the business. Sounds like it's going from absolute strength to strength, and thank you for giving us feedback. It's really appreciated.
No problem, Simon. Take care.
Cheers, Gary.
Cheers. Bye-bye now. Thanks.